That was close.
Hi, thanks for watching. Today is May 22nd, and we're going to start off today with some NCAA news. So the first bit of news is former Oregon signee Luke Hill was arrested in Maryland on attempted murder. It's along with some other counts, but that being the biggest one. He was never actually committed to Oregon. He signed, but he was decommitted by the Oregon staff before he even came on campus. Other news, Tua's brother Talia Tagovailoa transferring to Maryland. Obviously, Maryland's head coach being Mike Locksley, the former offensive coordinator for Bama in 2017 and 2018. So obviously the Bama ties getting Talia. Notre Dame's declaring that all students will be on campus for fall, and they look to continue sports, and there be sports in the fall, which is opening the doors for a lot of other schools. If Notre Dame comes out and says that they're going to be doing it, others will be following suit. Other big news out of the NCAA is Vanderbilt has hired Candace Lee for athletic director, making her the first female and first African American to lead an SEC athletic department and the fifth female overall from a Power Five to become an athletic director. Other news, judge rules that the NCAA can't limit college athletics benefits that are tied to education. NCAA has come out and said that if there is to be no football played this fall, then there will be $4 billion loss, 1.2 billion of that being lost ticket revenue. Ohio State says that they're looking to have around 20 to 50,000 fans at games. And yesterday, a judge ruled that the NCAA can't limit college athletic benefits that are tied to education. So the NCAA has been in a legal battle over this issue for a while, and the judge just ruled in favor of the plaintiffs and not with the NCAA. And the last bit of NCAA news is that legendary Auburn coach and athletic director Pat Dye tested positive for COVID-19, and he's been hospitalized because he's been having ongoing kidney issues. Now, Pat Dye's son saying that his dad will be okay, and he's just there for precautionary reasons, and he's recovering. So best wishes to him, and hope he gets well soon. Moving over to NASCAR. So the Toyota 500 at Darlington was raced yesterday, and it was a shortened race that was won by Denny Hamlin. But this race was called with 20 laps remaining, with Hamlin out of fresh tires, clinging to the lead, when his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate Kyle Busch spun out Elliott while battling for second. Now, in a funny scene, obviously with Elliott being okay and about to go to care in the infield, he got out of his car, flipping the bird to Kyle Busch, which is a pretty funny scene. Now moving over to some soccer news is the Danish team ACF Aarhus is to play in front of crowds through Zoom virtual grandstand. Fans will get to choose from 22 different sections of the stadium to watch from, which is a pretty neat idea, and obviously it's something to look into going forward by other sports teams. And in MLB news, MLB commissioner is confident that a deal will be reached between the players and MLB over payments. MLB is projecting to lose about $640,000 per game, so obviously coming up with a deal between the players and MLB will be advantageous for everybody. Sad note is Starling Marte's wife has passed away of a heart attack. Starling Marte plays for the Diamondbacks. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Marte and his family. And a big thing that came out of yesterday was Mike Trout selling for a record $900,000 for one of his autographed Bowman Draft Chrome Red Refractor rookie card. As one of 5 made, and that record selling price is tied with another card, which is a LeBron and MJ game-worn jersey card. And there's 3 bits of news coming out of the NBA, and one of them being Magic Johnson is going to provide $100 million to minority-owned businesses to help them through this, which is awesome news. The other one being Mayo Clinic is going to help the NBA conduct their COVID-19 testing for when they decide to come back and do all their testing for that. And the last bit of NBA news is that Penny Hardaway is looking at potentially being in trouble by Memphis and the NCAA for working out with a potential NBA draft prospect. This goes against Memphis's set standards of COVID-19 rules. And moving over to the NFL, the Pennsylvania governor is actually upset right now with Ben Roethlisberger over his recent visit to a barber shop. Giants' DeAndre Baker and Redskins' Quentin Dunbar have pled not guilty to all charges stemming from their alleged armed robbery in Florida last week. And one other last note before we get to the big NFL news is that Patrick Chung has signed a 2-year extension to remain with the Patriots. And now the big news coming out of the NFL today is that the teams have received a list of potential rule changes from the NFL. The owners will meet and vote on this on May 28th. Some of the new proposals are to add a booth umpire and or a senior tech advisor on every game. The onside kick is looking to be changed to a 4th and 15 attempt from its own 25. Replay reviews being automatic for scoring plays and turnovers negated by a foul. There's going to be an option for defense to run the clock if decline offensive penalty that occurs late in the game. Defenseless receiver protection on punt or kickoff is to be enhanced even more. And the last one is to prevent clock manipulation for multiple dead ball fouls while the clock is running. And the last bit of sports news I have for today comes from the PGA Tour. And that is Adam Scott has come out today saying that he will join Tommy Fleetwood and Lee Westwood in sitting out the start of the PGA return. He will miss the first 7 events because he feels that the testing is not up to par and he does not want to risk it, which brings me to the fact that it is an individual sport. It's pretty much as social distance as you can be in a sport, being it's golf. Really, the only person you really have to worry about having the disease or the virus is your caddy. And it's someone that you're good friends with that you can get tested both beforehand. You don't have to be within 6 feet of anybody. And you are out in the open. So I just find that very interesting that they would come out and that would actually be considered sports news on ESPN or these other sports websites. It's golf. You're already social distance. You don't need to be near anybody. You don't even have to touch anybody if you don't want to. I mean, there are 7,500 yards of golf course that you can easily be well away from 6 feet from somebody. But that's all I have for today, so please like and subscribe and enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Thanks for watching.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
There's no way I just...
You trying to run across this dude? Oh, what the?
Wow. 25
Wow.
I mean, there's nothing I could have done.